So what you saw there was a combination of Lomachenko's footwork. One of the first videos I ever did was actually on Lomachenko's side shuffle, essentially showing you how to create a 90-degree angle on your opponent as opposed to the conventional 45-degree angle that most boxing work is going to give you. So, you know, if you're familiar with Lomachenko's game, you know that it's all predicated on angles, and he's better at creating angles than almost anyone. But he uses combinations of footwork in order to achieve the angles that he does. If you see what he did to Walter, well, I mean, really anybody, he uses a combination of different footwork to create those angles in conjunction with that side shuffle that I initially taught. So to kind of review, I want to talk about the side shuffle first, and then he actually will incorporate, in many cases, to essentially chase down his opponent, he'll use the Dempsey shuffle. But in combination with his side shuffle, it's nearly an impossible kind of footwork to defend against. So to kind of cover the basics of the side shuffle as we did earlier, you know, when he's standing in front of, you know, he can hit here, and essentially, if depending on your, you know, whether you're southpaw or orthodox, I'm standard, so I'm conventional. If I'm going to be rotating this way around my opponent, I'm going to step and rotate like this. Right, so if you see me here, you'll see me pull the back leg. I won't really cross my legs when I do it because my momentum's already shifting this way, because I'm pulling this foot in, but I'm also pulling myself this direction with my outside foot as well. Right, so so you end up creating that rotation where, you know, your hips kind of pivot, your feet move, and your tip. Now, if you're going this way, usually what I'll do is it's kind of the opposite. I'll actually kind of take a wider stance, pull with this foot, right, and then turn with it, right? So that's essentially what it does. It goes punch, pop, 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 boom. So it takes like a little extra step because you have to step out first to pull and turn. But essentially the main thing being that your feet, instead of just taking a conventional step to create your angle, you're covering more distance with 2 steps, but you're doing it pretty quickly, and you're rotating your hips to create that angle, right? Now, another thing that he'll do is that when he's starting to really get his attack going, like Vasyl Lomachenko, he'll use the first round or 2 to really kind of feel things out, and once he has the range down, you're pretty much screwed at that point, because then he'll know how to find the range, and he knows how to stay out of yours. But what you'll see, what he did against Gary Russell Jr., and even in his last fight against the Axeman, what he'll do is he'll get them, he'll pop them back, and then he'll step in, and then rotate, right? So it's a combination. So he's essentially chasing you down, pop, 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 boom. And he keeps a low stance when he does it, right? So he's here, jab, jab, hit, rotate, boom. And so they're so caught off guard by the changes in his footwork and how fast he does it that they can't recover really. So he'll come in, and sometimes he'll just feint it, right? He'll be like, boom, boom, and he follows up with his lead hand for a cross. He'll rotate and then follow that up with a lead hook. So in doing so, he's able to pursue them better, right? So if they're sitting here, you know, once he gets his attack going, they back off a lot because he's so fast. So he goes, bah, 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 bah. Right? So, and it covers, as you can see, I mean, just based on the camera, like I'm covering a lot of distance with not a lot of movement, right? So I'm not sitting here having to go, you know, across the whole floor. It only takes 3 steps, right? It's here, boom, boom, rotate, boom. And I've covered a lot of distance already. And that's distance that they can't cover by backing up. And not only that, but by rotating and doing the side shuffle, you're cutting off the ring as well. So you're really accomplishing a lot of things with 2 pretty simple pieces of footwork to establish, right? It's, you know, he starts it off, boom, Dempsey shuffle, rotate. See, so what'll happen is come here, hit, hit, and now that this is my back foot, I just pull it, rotate my hips, boom, and I've got that angle, right? So by using those in conjunction, he's able to cover distance, cut off the ring, and continue his attack all at the same time. Not only that, but because he's switching up his angles, because sometimes Lomachenko, he'll hit, boom, and he'll step, and then rotate. Like, you can create angles off the Dempsey shuffle. So he's not only continuing his attack, but he's varying his angles while he's doing so, while he's pursuing them, and also has the opportunity to cut off the ring. So as you can see, I mean, even with Walters, his last fight with Walters, once he gets his attack going, like, you're not going to get away from him. Like, it's just, he's not going to let you. His feet are most likely faster than yours. His footwork is definitely better than yours. And the way that he's able to vary up his punches and create angles, there's no way for you to really, quell his attack. And so using those pieces of footwork in combination is a really deadly technique that he uses, something that you can incorporate into your, into your boxing. But he's definitely right now, I'd have to say, my favorite fighter. He's probably one of the most exciting fighters I've ever seen. Aside from like Roy Jones Jr. or something like that. Obviously he earned his name High Tech for a reason, and that kind of high degree of technical footwork is what earns him that name. So that was just, and again, there's many pieces of footwork that he uses, for judging distance, staying out of range, and still being able to hit. But that's one that I've noticed in a couple different of his fights that he'll use to kind of continue his attack, and it's always worked extremely effective. And if you incorporate it into your skill set, it could definitely pay off for you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.